I will thank Akanksha and Pulkit, the introduction that you have given. And I think I have become used to this introduction. For years, people tell me this. I'm getting more humble, but also getting dumb over a period of time. Because I always thought that what we can do. And it's always a pleasure to see things happening. So I'm very happy that I'm here today. I'm more or less these days Calcutta Vasi, but Dr. Sodani and Neeraj, he must be here around. They insisted I should come for this, and so I decided to come. Anyway, let me welcome Manisha ji to this 37th Foundation Day, Dr. Agrawal, Vedant, and budding leader, Ayan Agrawal, and Dr. Sodani, Mrs. Sodani, all my faculty colleagues and friends, and very dear students and alumni. I do not know whether we have invited parents of the students today, but anyway, I extend a very, very warm welcome. And I would like to congratulate all of my faculty colleagues and students on this 37th Foundation Day. All the details have already been shared by Dr. Sodani, and I really do not remember now what I had to say honestly, because he has said most of the things I generally used to say when I was director and then the president, and more recently chairman of the university. So it's always a new beginning. When we have 37th, then we'll have 38th and so on. So that's a great day for us, and there are many new things that are happening over here. What we are today, in fact, I must pay tributes to my predecessors, my own guru, Dr. Rameshwar Sharma, who led this institute and put a research culture in this organization. Followed by Dr. Gupta. He is still with us. He lives in Bangalore. He made his contribution more in population sciences while he was there. Then came Dr. Hrishikesh Maru, and he was the one who in fact instilled in us the theory of organizations, the theory of institution building, and strategies to go ahead. Unfortunately, his stay and journey with us was very short-lived. He passed away, unfortunately, all of a sudden. And then this baton was passed on to me. We're back in 1998 when Professor Maru passed away. We had very eminent people with us. Dr. Henderson, who was the Dean of the School of Public Health and of Johns Hopkins University, where Dr. Agrawal and I studied. And we always feel nostalgic about that connection that we have still. It's very live and kicking, that relationship that we have with our institution where we studied for our higher education and training. We had a great person with us, Mr. M.L. Mehta, who became trustee when Dr. Agrawal wanted to quit the job of Trustee Secretary of IIHMR. Mr. Mehta took over, and he was a great visionary and a very learned man. Again, he had a very, in-depth understanding of organizations, people working in the organizations, very strategic in his thinking, and a very fast decision maker, very helping. I had never seen Mr. Mehta like that. Earlier when he came, I worked with him earlier as well when he was Chief Secretary. So my opinion was very different at that point of time. But when he joined here, he was a totally different man, and he was instrumental in building this institution. I was a very, I would say, a faithful disciple of M.L. Mehta ji, and learned so many things, thinking broad, thinking extensively. I learned from him. And he had a very extensive knowledge of almost all areas in development. And then we had a great person with us, Professor Uday Parikh. Our learning of organizational development, our learnings about leadership, all came from Professor Uday Parikh. And in fact, he was my mentor. He handheld me for pretty many years, and he was one who was part of the team or the search committee who selected me as director, but with a condition that it is not a guarantee that you will be selected as director. I was not willing, I never thought that I will be a director of this institute. I thought I am for a short while in India, maybe 5-6 years, and may go back to the institution where I came from. But having worked with Professor Uday Parikh, Mr. M.L. Mehta, Dr. Ashok Agarwal, and very tender care by Manisha ji, I must admit this on this stage. She was one who kept me here with her, always very, I don't know words about that, but she was very caring and always felt like. So it has been a great journey for us, and out of these 37 years, I can tell you I have been here for 30 years or so. So a major part which we have traveled through in 37 years, I have been a sojourn of the organization, and fortunately and very pleasantly, except first 2-3 years, I remained in the leadership position, and I got the opportunity to help develop this institution. I got all the opportunities, got all the freedom, I got all the autonomy and support from the faculty. IHMR is known for supporting faculty and allowing them to work. And the testimony to that, today, I think 4 professors today that we have, in fact, had joined as research officers here. So there is a kind of organization, the nature of the organization that has been created. And those who work over here, even for 3 to 4 years, it is very difficult to work in other organizations if they switch, because there are greener pastures. People want to grow, want to get more money and maybe more opportunities to grow. So they move, but they still find it very difficult, and they always remember the organization. So we have grown. Dr. Sodani has shared with you all the journey that we have had, and I think he missed one important breakthrough, was that starting School of Pharmaceutical Management. It was totally a new idea, and nowhere in the world when we searched on Google and other places, where is pharmaceutical management? Does any organization in the world offer this degree? And we didn't find one. So we had to really bring pieces together and try to integrate the concepts. What should be the concepts of pharmaceutical management, and who will take our graduates? It was very difficult. It was very difficult to get our health management and hospital management students into the industry, because most of them were non-medical graduate. But we are wedded to a very important idea that these institutions can be managed by non-medical graduates. That was the whole thing in our mind, and that's what we did. So next to the 3 years, our students who graduated from here were accepted by the health industry, and then it's all a story now. It's a history. We are the largest supplier of human resources in management in the health sector all over the world. I tried many times to search where the largest number of management graduates in the health sector come from. I didn't find any. I tried to see an institution which has such a culture. I didn't find many. I traveled to so many institutions, but I didn't find such a culture. So coming back to this pharmaceutical management, we brought people together, very eminent people in the pharmaceutical industry, and then prepared this program. And you will not believe, we started our first batch with full capacity of 60 students. There was a reputation we had gained in health management and hospital management. Everybody wanted to come over here. And we continue that story. So we have a full-fledged school of pharmaceutical management. And then we ventured into what is deep in our heart, development. So we started the School of Rural Management, and I must not shy away in confessing we did not succeed in a great way, but we still hold on to, and now it has grown up. So we have a full-fledged School of Development Studies. And then what is very dear to us, and we were not doing that formally, was to set up a School of Public Health. So I had named it. So when I started preparing proposal for developing a School of Public Health, I called it IIHMR School of Public Health. But one fine evening, I should say, on October the 5th, like this, last year, and Dr. Agrawal was so generous and kind, so affectionate to me, he named it in my name, as the Gupta School of Public Health. Thus far we have come in, and we are still toying with starting many more schools. We have come up with another whole complex, almost equal to what we already have on this side of the road. So that is what we are seeing now is the growth potential that we see. So some more new schools will come up. But that's how we are, and we need to continue to grow. On my part, IIHMR is, I think, it's in my breath, in my blood, and in my neurons. But this is, I shared with my many colleagues this morning that I purchased a book from bookstore in Calcutta Airport. And that is, the title of that book is 70s, The Hell With. This is done by Shobha, a famous author, mostly writing negative, but she has very positively written what happens at 70 and what people who achieve 70 should think. Because she has reached 70 now. And she says, hell with. Age is simply a number. This is the time to enjoy the life, do what you want to do, rejoice, reminisce, rewind, remember, and love people, give people, devote yourself for getting your own happiness, be selfish to be happy. And there is so I also feel that I'm going to entering into 72nd. So I already had this in my mind, and I learned from Professor Uday Parekh that true leadership is when you prepare many more leaders to succeed you and carry your legacy, carry the legacy of the institution. So we picked up Dr. Sodani to lead this institution last year. He has been the Yadilal Nanda for many years, substituting for, our presidents resigning and all that. So he always acted as president in that period. But finally, he became a regular president on his merits. And what was in his favor was that he's a young man, He knows about IHMR, every nuts and bolts, the ideology, the culture, and he knows how it has grown, what has gone into the development of this organization. So he was a very natural choice for the search committee and then the management board to be the president. So we look forward, and I'm very happy that what Professor Parikh told me, the great leaders are those who produce their own successors. And I'm very happy that I could follow it and make myself, and he used to say another thing, you are successful leader, or you are successful as leader when you make yourself redundant to the organization. And this is what exactly I was following for last 5 years, knowingly or unknowingly. So I tried to give, I tried to recharge, but but what is in your blood, what is in your neurons, in your breath, you continue to love. I'm still in that phase. My family compulsions helped me to detach to some extent from active role in the institution, looking after my granddaughter and spending time. I thought it was very easy to look after kids, but it is, I think, much more difficult than doing PhD or doing anything else. I must honestly confess that. So I don't want to give you any lessons today, but I'm very happy that we are crossing over to 38th year of the foundation of this. And I will be doing a great mistake if I do not refer to the contribution of Dr. Ashok Agarwal. The first thing that he had this great idea, and this morning I was saying this in one meeting, probably this terminology had not come at that time, that is startups. New ideas, in fact, are the starting points for startups. And I would say this great idea came to him. Maybe he gives credit to others that I consulted so many people around the world, but the idea was his own. And probably his studies at Hopkins helped him to think about giving him a broader vision and what this health system requires. Maybe so he stuck with that, and very jovially he says that he had nothing else to do. So my family assigned this work to me to do charity and look after IHMR and other outfits of the TCI Borukara family. So anyway, but he has been instrumental in nurturing this, at least for, I know, about 1995, he was actively engaged, and then for next 5 years, probably he continued right from the inception as Trustee Secretary, giving direction, holding on to building an organization, developing a structure. I remember I worked here as faculty as well, way back in 88, 90. And we used to have several consultants from different areas to help us think what this management is, our institution is, and how to grow up, how to build up, and many theories, concepts they used to share with us. So great learning at the time. So and then finally, when I joined in 1995. Here, after deciding to take voluntary retirement from the government job, I joined over here, and people still ask me, why did you do that at that time? So I have no answer for it. I just wanted to do something different because the training that I had got was not useful anywhere except this institution. And more importantly, what Dr. Agarwal did with me was he gave me full autonomy and gave me a total freedom to do what I want to do. And this is where we started with 1998. And he continued to help me think, kept me encouraging. Though I also have a mindset that I never feel tired mentally or physically. and so many ideas that I have, and I had the opportunity to translate those ideas into action. This morning only I was sharing in the meeting, but ideas are there, good documents are there, good proposals, good presentations, beautiful presentations, all are the things that we all do. But the important thing is to take the things onto the ground and finally leading to the welfare of the humanity. That should be the ultimate thing. And we have done a great job, I must say. I'm not bragging, I'm not eulogizing, but we have prepared close to 4,500 young management graduates. They are not only in India, but they are everywhere. And in India, they are everywhere. You know what you call as ubiquitous, they are. They're the ubiquitous animals or human beings. You'll find them in all organizations in this country, in the health sector. And they have transformed the whole idea of how to manage healthcare and the systems. That's what was thought of when Dr. Agarwal thought of 1983. Probably, at least I did not dream that transformation of that sort will happen. Maybe he might have thought of. But I used to tell him, what you have prepared, you are not ready. The building is not sufficient. It is always deficient. So then he said, no, we never thought that itne log honge, hoga. But finally, we had to expand. A lot of infrastructure development took place. We set up. So I will finish with saying this, that what we did at IIHMR, now IIHMR University, was not a fluke. And this is proved by that we could create a similar organization in Bangalore. We struggled, but finally, we are on the path of growth. We went to Delhi. Again, we struggled. And now we are on the path of growth and development. So we were in the right direction here. We learned lessons from here, replicated 2 institutions in Delhi and Bangalore. So, but not many institutions and promoters have such ideas, how to build institutions, how to nurture them. And probably this is what the uniqueness of Dr. Agarwal is. And maybe his brothers also helped him thinking how to go about. So finally, all this credit of what we are today has to go to him. That he thought about it, and then he found people who could carry on with his dream and realize it and show that, yes, change in the lives of people can be brought by your own ideas, which we call these days as startups. And I have changed my idea now a bit. I tell my students, you should not be job seekers. You should try to become job givers. And this is what you should plan. If you want to grow, you have to grow to that level. Can you be a job giver? And startups, incubation, entrepreneurship are the ideas. And this is what today we are going to inaugurate IIHMR Foundation today to support startups, innovations, and entrepreneurship. It's already registered with Companies Act. So we are moving again, we are broadening our horizons, and we will continue to do so. I see many young people over here, Ayan Agarwal, Vedanta, I see. There are many colleagues in the faculty who are very young at this point of time. I think they will carry it through. I believe Sudani has 10 more years, but we have to go beyond 10 years. We have to go for many more years, and this young leadership will come up and they will take it forward. So I wish you again a very best future, and congratulations again on the 37th Foundation Day. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me.